Welcome to another episode of Sanusi Not Life. My name is Adewale Bouke Jr. Please review us, rate us, give us a 5-star. Don't be a hater. Today, episode number 160. So which means I get to talk about my favorite thing, Karjakz Vs Assassins, A Force Awakened. Today I'm going to focus on my Karjakz Vs Assassins Universe. You know, as always, I like to do every 10th episode, got to talk about them because it's the greatest thing ever. You know what I mean? The greatest creation ever. So, you know, we're going to focus on some stuff today, man. Some awesome stuff. Before we get into the podcast, I want to thank our sponsors. This Sound Vision podcast is brought to you by Karjakz. If you need services from plumbers to pediatricians and everything in between, search Karjakz. That's services on plumbers and pediatricians and everything in between. If you need services executed by the best of the best, you got to check out KarjakzSearch.com. That's KarjakzSearch.com. You know what I'm saying? So Karjakz.com, and find all your best executives for all the positions to things you're looking for, from accountants to pediatricians, you name it, it's on there. So Karjakz.com, please check out Karjakz.com. This is one of our new sponsors. They're awesome, so you know we have to add them to the Science Video Podcast. And if they're getting added to the Science Video Podcast, it means that they are what? Awesome. Because all we do over here is awesome. So that's Karjakz.com. Please check them out. If you anything from plumbers to pediatricians, accountants, you name it. If it's professional, they are on there. So check them out. They'll help you find the best of the best to do what you need done. Karjakz.com, y'all. That's Karjakz.com. And this podcast is also brought to you by Anadel for the ankle. Don't live with foot pain. The Anadel for the ankle. Make your feet happy again. That's AnadelCenter.com for details, y'all. That's AnadelCenter.com for details, y'all. As I stated before, AnadelCenter.com. I got my custom orthotics, and each one of these goes in every pair of my batas that I wear. I always got my AnadelCenter.com's custom orthotics on my feet. I've been very happy ever since I've been wearing these. No more pain, no more plantar fasciitis, which hurts like I don't know what. And I ain't got that. I ain't had that in I don't know a long time. 8 years, probably 9 years and counting now. I mean, I would have had so much foot pain, but when I went to go see Dr. Nero Nusode, guess what happened? No surgery needed. Showed me certain exercises to strengthen my foot muscles. Next thing you know, I got these custom orthotics, and I'm living the good life. So make your feet happy again and book an appointment at AnadelCenter.com, yo. That's AnadelCenter.com for details, y'all. All right, y'all. It's time to get into this podcast. I'm excited about it. Like I said before, today we're going to talk about the Karjakz Vs Assassins Universe. My favorite thing to talk about whenever I do a podcast, A Force Awakened. There's some things I want to focus on. The idea, the characters, specifically the Karjakz side, the assassin side. And then, of course, I'm going to talk about the future, right? Because I think, honestly, creating something this great, the idea itself, which really, I like to focus on this. This is how it all started. The bio book, it's not so much the bio, but the characters look like this. But if you're noticing on the bomber jacket, right? It's a puffer jacket. Guess what you can see on there too? The classic Karjakz Vs Assassins bomber jacket. And yes, oh well, can't forget the Sound Vision Podcast t-shirt. Now it's available on soundvision.com. So go get yours today and look awesome, man. And join the movement. Karjakz Vs Assassins, man, the idea. Like I stated before, shoot, I'm looking at the poster right now. By October 19th, 2012 is when I finished the characters. I started in 2009, not even understanding, like, what am I doing? Where am I going with these characters? What are these characters going to be about? All I know is this. I just wanted to have my own characters, man. It got kind of boring drawing everything in Marvel world, DC world, or any other universe, Voltron, Mega Man, you name it, Turtles, Teen Mutant Ninja Turtles, Dragon Ball Z, whatever, Ronin Warriors. I was just like, okay, I got to do my own thing. Because I'm a creator. I'm not going to be calling myself a creative. All I'm doing is creating what somebody else has already created. That's not creating. That's just kind of corny. You're just redrawing an idea. I'd rather create my own idea. So, give birth to Karjakz Vs Assassins. As I always stated before, that story of how I went to the FedEx post office, man, and the postal was $65 and some change. I think it was 37 cents. And, man, all I had was $65 left in my bank account. I really didn't care. It was either the poster or pay the bill. I said, forget the bill. I'm printing my poster, man. And this is the greatest thing I ever did, because that poster, which I'm going to go grab right now, is the reason why I am where I am today. You know what I mean? Let me go grab it so y'all can see it. There's nothing like history. You know what I mean? History is the coolest thing. Look at this. This is the birth of the awesome characters. This is the first poster ever printed in the Karjakz Vs Assassins Universe. This thing is classic, man. You know what I mean? I remember just making it and telling myself, man, I done arrived. And sure enough, check that out, man. You know what I mean? So that's the first poster right there. And for those of you who are wondering how big that thing is, it's 24 by 36. It is massive. You know what I mean? But that was the idea. I was like, look, if I can do this and create these characters, spend 3.5 years just doing it, I might as well go ahead and just keep on going with it. And that was the idea, to have my own cartoon series. I just always thought like I could be like a Stan Lee or a Greg Weisman or any of these other creators that have created their own animation series, which is exactly what I did. I had no fear of failure. I did not care. I wasn't even thinking about that. And I'm glad I didn't have any fear of failure, because not having a fear of failure is where I am today. So the whole idea of birth, when you create characters, man, make sure you put your all into it, because you don't let no one, and I mean no one, not no haters, not no nobody, talk you out of it. Not friends, not family, not strangers, not nobody. The only person that needs to talk you into it, you need to give yourself reasons to keep on pursuing the idea versus giving yourself reasons not to pursue the idea. Giving yourself excuses not to pursue the idea, excuse me. Give yourself reasons, not excuses, to execute something. Like Stan Lee said, if you genuinely have a good idea and you think it's a good idea, don't let some idiot talk to you about it, because there's a lot of idiots out there who ain't got nothing to go for themselves, so they don't want you to have nothing to go for yourself. So, you know, I go from this idea right here, version 1, you know what I mean, which was cool. I mean, it may not be the greatest version in terms of the drawing technique, but man, it's spawned something great. Because without this version, this is the most important version of the Karjakz Vs Assassins Universe. There's going to be version 6, which is already there. Version 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever versions I get to do, that I'm going to do. Dude, like, there's nothing more important than this version 1 right here. As it is too great. Because without this, it spawned everything that I'm doing now in the Karjakz Vs Assassins Universe. I mean, look at that. Those are the heroes right there, the Karjakz. I remember the first time I did it. I was so proud of myself, man. I mean, the drawing techniques have changed exponentially, of course. You know, I've evolved so beyond this point right here. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Then, of course, the next version. You know, I like to call this 2, 3, 4 at the same time. You know what I mean? 3 versions of 1 version, because I kept on going. I was like, it's like I just kept on modifying it. And look at the characters now. If you look at the differences, the characters still kind of look the same, but a lot of things have changed. The logo changed. The color scheme changed. When I say scheme, it's more the density. You know, you go from understanding color spectrums, whether it's RGB or CMYK. You know, I remember I felt like I drew it in CMYK. I was like, okay, this don't look right. I got to switch to RGB. And RGB is a larger color spectrum. So the idea of itself, look at this, the Karjakz now. Look at what they look like. And then, of course, look at the assassins, right? And then if you compare them, if you compare the Karjakz to the original, you can see the major difference what you're looking at. I mean, talk about evolution. And then if you flip the assassins, talk about an idea just looking for its summit, man. And I'm not even nowhere close to where these characters are gonna be. Look at that, man. Look at the differences, man. You know what I mean? That's evolution. And then, of course, I went from this to this, which is version 5. And now when I got to here is when I realized, okay, it is time. And so I got my first, I was still at the school at the time, and I got my first idea about creating like animation project in class. So my teacher said, you can do an animation project. I was like, oh, cool. Well, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna spend the whole semester creating an animation intro, you know, which I'm gonna show y'all down the line. But I was like, you look, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, man. So I did. I got to work. I mean, the characters themselves start to look cool. And at the same time, I was thinking, I wonder if I could put together a comic book, right? Because I started off reading comic books, but I wasn't really into animation. And then when I got to animation, it's like I abandoned comic books and they came back to comic books again once I got to version 5. And then check this out. Look at this, the sickness of these characters. Now, this version 5 has spawned what you're going to see in the first official Karjakz Vs Assassins comic book that's coming out, because that thing is spitfire. I mean, look at these awesome Karjakz right here. And then when I flip it to the villains, the assassins, I mean, look at that, man. Then now, if you compare and contrast, let's go to Karjakz. You can see the vast growth that I have had as an artist, as an idea. An idea is always that in the beginning, an idea, till you make it become something. And that's what's beautiful about ideas. They always get to grow if you let them grow. Look at that, y'all. Version 1, 2, and 3, and 4 in the middle, and then of course version 5. I mean, look at the skills, man. This is what you call an idea. This is why ideas grow right here. You know what I mean? And then if you flip it to the villains, yeah, that's right, yo. I'm taking my time changing the pages. Look at the villains. You know I got to get the villains. The assassins are too cool. Look at this. Now that's the villains right there. I mean, look at the difference. Talk about the growth. You're like looking at the last one, you're like, dang. I mean, this is what happens to you when you have an idea, when you believe in yourself. Ideas get to grow. That's the beauty about ideas. They get to grow. You just get to grow them. It's like planting a seed in the ground and then just watching it sprout from a seed to a plant. That's what happens to the Karjakz Vs Assassins. Now I got version 6. And when I say version 6 is off the chain, I do mean they are off the chain. You wouldn't even recognize these characters anymore if you saw them. You're like, who is who? That's what you would look like now. I mean, I know who's who. To me, I know who that, but you're not gonna know. That's why the first official Karjakz Vs Assassins comic book is gonna be tremendous. An idea. Ideas are the greatest thing you can do for yourself as an artist. Come up with your own thing. Be original. Pull it to the front. So that's the idea. Next up is the characters. Now, we're going to do the Karjakz, and then we're going to do the assassins. The thing about characters is that when you create them, the first thing you want to do is really decide what do you want them to look like. So, starting with the Karjakz, of course. Of course, it's version 1. But what I'm going to show you is going to be off the version 5s. And of course, for all those of you wondering what they look like, the Karjakz. All of them right there, man. All in one go. Yeah, that's right. The logo changed, the character spectrum changed. Now let's start off with the first character, right? These are the Karjakz right here, the whole team. Now let's talk about the first character, Cajun, my character, based on me, aka Jones Phoenix. That's what he's known as, Jones Phoenix, with his faithful partner Sphinx, the Egyptian mystical tiger right there at the bottom, right? That's Sphinx right there. That's Cajun and Sphinx right there. And look, let's break down Cajun, right? As I said, I'm not gonna give you too much, but each character, right? His name is Jones Phoenix. His citizenship is U.S. Nigerian. Alias name Cajun. You know what I'm saying? Place of birth is Hunter's Green. And he's a gifted engineer who decides to design the cybernetic battle suit. You know what I mean? And once he creates it, now he becomes a superhero, just like any other superhero you ever thought about, whether it's Iron Man or Blade. But what I say does is actually do his own thing. But then realizing maybe he needs help, so his entire family decides to join the whole group, and now all of a sudden they got a team. I mean, I'm not gonna give you all the skippies of it, but as you read the comic book, it's gonna really help you to understand what's going on. This guy builds a cybernetic battle suit. He's a character based on me. I always thought to myself, if I had a character, what would that character look like? What would I want to look like? And as a kid growing up, my favorites were Leonardo, Ryo from Ronin Warriors, Iron Man, Blade. You know what I'm saying? Always the guys with the sword and always the leader of the team. And I'm always see myself as a leader. I'm not really one of those guys who's a follower. I don't go with the flow of what everybody's doing. I go do my own thing, which is how the birth the Karjakz Vs Assassins came. So Cajun is that dude. This dude's a billionaire industrialist. He's a master of many martial arts disciplines, from karate to jiu-jitsu to taekwondo to Jeet Kune Do. And yeah, Jeet Kune Do is my favorite thing because I felt like he should have that, because Bruce Lee was my favorite martial artist, if you want to, martial artist person. You know what I mean? He was just my favorite. Till today, nobody can touch Bruce Lee. Nobody. He's just on a pedestal on his own. He's on a different stratosphere. I just thought his disciplines, the way he thought, and I put those intricacies into Cajun, right? Give him those fighting skills. And of course, he has various mandible forms of armor. But, and then they have different weapons like blue blades and omega beams and stuff like that. I mean, this guy is a leader of a team. He's a billionaire industrialist. He's got money just like any other superhero you could think of that has money. Whether it's Bruce Wayne, or Tony Stark, or Oliver Queen, the Green Arrow. You know what I mean? He got money, man, and money ain't no issue when it comes to getting stuff done. This dude's got the money to do all that needs to be done, and that's all you need to know. You know what I mean? So that's Cajun right there. Next up, and then also too, creating him was a very interesting challenge. In fact, in the whole creation process, when I started drawing all the characters, in the first version, this version, he was the hero that I drew last. Because I drew Escalade, Glocks, Rasputin, Sincere, Shepherd, and I was like, okay, what does this guy need to look like? Because I've often pondered what he should look like. And I finally came out, when I did, I ended up with this. Right here, what y'all are seeing right here. And then I went from that to the evolution. And then I went to this evolution, which you're seeing now, right here. You know what I mean? Evolution is all about like how you visualize your success of your characters. And I think it's important to do that, man. So that's Cajun right there. My character had to be on point. Even on the animations, you get to see, okay, I'm putting in work. I didn't want it to just look like, I wanted his armor to look like it cost $1 gajillion. I'm talking all kinds of amenities up in there, man, what that armor can do. I mean, I was inspired by Iron Man. I was inspired by Techno Man. I was inspired by Ryo from Warrior Warriors. I was inspired by generally any superhero that had armor. I thought they were all cool as hell. I always thought the armor superhero on the team was always the coolest one because they got to come up with something, make something, and then transform into something and put something on. It's the sickest thing, man. You know what I mean? So, next up is Escalade. She's the team leader of the Karjakz. You know what I mean? She's the Air Force Colonel, aka Sarah Phoenix, and she's based on my younger sister. So let me show y'all Escalade. Right here. This is Escalade right here. That's right. Air Force Colonel, man. She's an ace pilot. I mean, this lady is the truth in 2 quarters. If I say she's a superhero, she's a superhero. She's a beast mode. She's an Air Force Colonel. She's the team leader, aka Sarah Phoenix, aka Escalade. She's British, citizenship is British American. You know what I mean? She's like she's an Air Force Colonel and an ace pilot and a tactical strategist. And one thing I noticed was that a lot of women weren't really being emphasized, is the best word for me to use. You got all these amazing women that you know, but who doesn't want to see a woman superhero? They had none, not in the way that I thought, where you didn't put any limits on them. And even when they did create them, they put limits on them. Even some of the movies you watch today now, it's like a joke. Like, dude, can we just have the movie without any mushy nonsense? Just let the woman get the job done and stop assuming that she would be stopping to want to be talking about love during the superhero. I'm like, you got to be joking me. You know what I mean? So when I created my character, I wanted women that were based on the strong women that I knew in my life. And so this character is based on my sister. And of course, she's first in command. So now my younger sister can't say, oh, I didn't make her character the oldest. Our character isn't the oldest in the Karjakz Vs Assassins Universe, but she is the team leader. And I think when you have an Air Force Colonel on your team, you got to make her the leader. I mean, it don't make no sense if you don't make her the leader. So Escalade is a tough, strong-minded, willed individual whose first aim is always to help those who can't help themselves, just like her brother Cajun in the Karjakz Vs Assassins Universe. And also, too, being that she's an Air Force Colonel, somehow she has to balance being an Air Force Colonel and then also being a part of the Karjakz Universe. I mean, that's like a difficult hand, man. I mean, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna tell y'all how she balances out or whether or not she reveals her identity or any of that stuff. But she has a hard time doing both. I mean, she really does a great job of mastering how she does. And as you see the comic book and the animation, so you get to see how she's evolving herself as a leader on both fronts. And now she's like able to balance her time, which is probably the biggest thing for Escalade, balancing her time, because she can't just blow off the team. No, if something's going down, she got to join them. You know what I mean? That's how it's just got to go, man. So that's Escalade right there. Next up is Glocks. Glocks is the sharpshooter on the team, aka Chris Phoenix. He's based on one of my brothers. Excuse me. Glocks is the type of character that he doesn't take any mess. It's shoot first and ask questions later. This dude is about putting in work. He ain't got no compulsion about letting you know how great he is at what he does. And I think you have to have a confidence about yourself if you're going to be in anything you do in life, right? But that's Glocks right there, kind of similar to my brother. Believes himself, knows himself, and knows what he's capable of. And then He's an independent thinking character. That's Glocks right there. I mean, this dude don't miss like ever. Like he's the dude that never misses. Literally, he can hit anything. He can hit a fly with one eye. You know what I mean? This dude is that sick. Girl named Chris Phoenix, excuse me. Glocks is the alias. You know what I mean? His citizenship is USA. He's about 6'2", 212 if you're all curious. Not something I usually talk about, but he's a student, which is weird, which is interesting. And then his major is computer science. So you can imagine a student, right? Part of a superhero team. And when he's in class, he hears that beep, he's got to go. And guess what he's doing? He's got to figure out excuses for getting out of class. I can't tell you how many times, as I visualize in the animation series, how he's going to be getting out of class. It's the wildest thing you've ever seen. This dude, he's a master of the martial arts, boxer, kickboxer, and Muay Thai specifically. His choice of weapons are Gatling guns, spider darts, and different things that he does. Then of course he's got this cool vehicle called Hydro, man. You know, just like how Escalade's got the cool SR-71 Wild Wing jet. He's got the Hydro, and then of course Cajun, can't forget, he doesn't really have a ship or anything like that, but he's got Sphinx, the Egyptian mystical tiger with him, and they partners. And over there, like Sphinx is a very I like to call him a gifted animal. Like he can grow in size. He's got an organic still. He's mystical. Like I don't want to tell you everything about him. That's why I didn't want to talk about him when I was talking about Cajun. He's a mystical animal. He's not seen as a pet in the team. He's seen as an individual of his own essence and makes his own decisions, man. This is the sickest thing y'all ever seen. Y'all don't understand. These characters are off the chain, and Glocks is just another cool member of the team. And he is the twin brother to Rasputin, who's also the second person I'm about to talk about right now. And Glocks is that dude that whenever the team has a situation with technology, maybe he's figuring out government installations or figuring out how people are hacking stuff, he's that dude that can be the counter hacker. So he's just as cool. He can also counteract what the hackers are doing. That's why he's a computer expert. There's nowhere he can't figure out, no system he can't crack, no system he doesn't understand. It's just a natural understanding of the computer system. I mean, dude, this is the sickest thing. It's like he's part of what the future is now today with technology, where we're so artificial intelligence. That's literally how his brain works. It's an amazing character. I mean, he's not just a sharpshooter. He's shoot first, ask questions later, get his foot up in your you know what, and get to work. And then we can ask you what's going on later, man. That's Glocks right there, man. Now, next up is Rasputin. Rasputin is the twin brother of Glocks, but Rasputin, also known as Sean Phoenix, you know what I'm saying, aka Rasputin. Citizenship is USA. Height 6'2", 209 pounds. You know what I mean? He's now instead of a crew cut, he's got dreads. So you know what I mean? Imagine a superhero with dreads. I wasn't seeing too many of those, man. But you know, this dude is that dude. And then his occupation is a student, and his major is biology, man. And out of all the Karjakz Vs Assassins universe, he might be the best hand-to-hand combatant in the whole Karjakz Vs Assassins universe. This guy right here, his fighting skills include kickboxing, Muay Thai, master of karate, master of many different type of disciplines. I mean, this dude. And he has no projectile, so everything he's doing is more hand-to-hand, close range. You know what I mean? He's got that speed. I mean, you ain't seen speed like what this guy's got. Now, Rasputin is this dude right here. That's Rasputin. That's right. He's that dude right there. That's Rasputin right there. You know, when you create these characters, you never really know where they're going to go. But what the inspiration you're really looking for is who they're based on. Like I said, this character, Rasputin, is based on my other brother. And I remember in creating this character, it's like, okay, that's pretty sick. I mean, I've made stuff for him on stuff that was on T-shirts, on shoes, you know. When you characters like this, like, and then another thing about Rasputin, he uses servo sticks, so he's more of a hand-to-hand combatant like that. This guy is the type of guy, he's a daredevil. He's a scientist, so I can't tell you how many times Rasputin's knowledge of science has helped the Karjakz more than once to get out of messy, and I do mean messy situations. You know what I mean? His knowledge of chemicals is more than saved the team on numerous times from getting, like, it's about to be over, because his ability to compute the various chemicals instantly is like boom. You know what I mean? I liken him to like a scientist that got hands. You know what I mean? That's how I see him. You know, he's a very intelligent individual, very logical. Everything must has structure to it. Not just gonna do whatever, not just gonna be winging it. But he's also daredevil too at the same time too. Once he gets on the field, like, he's willing to try just about anything. And sometimes, well, the stuff that he tries gets him in trouble with the other team members, because they're like, He's just about, the only person that thinks what he's doing is awesome is his other twin brother Glocks. Everybody else is just like, dude, what are you doing? That's the kind of free spirit that this guy has. So Rasputin is that free spirit on the team, man. Next up, we got Diesel, man. He's Diesel, aka Ben Warhol Gray. He's the real alias of Diesel. Now, this Diesel character is based on one of my good friends, but also I liken him to like an older brother. He's one of the guys who has really been behind my back, inspiring me and saying, "Hey, man, this whole Karjakz Vs Assassins Universe is gonna pop off. It's gonna be the stuff of champions. You gotta keep going. Don't give up, no matter what happens, man." And so I kept on having inspiration, so many corners, so many people. Most of these characters are based on people that are important to me in my life. Now, if you are worthy of a character, you gonna get a character. If you ain't worthy of a character, you ain't get no character. And there ain't nothing. I can't tell I've been stupid people be like, so am I gonna get a character? Do I look like I'm gonna draw a character based on you? Who the hell are you? I don't owe you nothing. And I just recently drew a character based on my mom, and that character is fire. You know what I mean? My mom's like, wow, it blew her away when she saw that character I drew on her. So, important people like this. So back to my big bro. Diesel is based on my big bro. He's a very cool individual, very knowledgeable, very smart. And Diesel's one of these characters that's the muscle guy, which is rare that you see a muscle guy that's actually a very intelligent character. So look, this is Diesel, y'all. Can y'all see it? That's Diesel right there, y'all. I know y'all see it. Sorry. Yeah, there you go. That's Diesel right there. And Diesel is that strong guy on the team. Now, his biosuit offers him a great amount of invulnerability and unlimited strength. But not only that, Diesel, just like the real character in real life, my big bro, is very intelligent, smart, tactical, thinks things through, reads a lot. He doesn't just rely on his strength, he relies on his mind. And then, of course, he loves engineering. And, of course, he's got the coolest vehicle ever, Night Train, the coolest truck you've ever seen. Now, of course, I can't show you that truck today because the new version of that truck is in the first official Karjakz Vs Assassins comic book. And when I tell you that truck is sick, that truck is sick. You know what I mean? Because as a kid growing up, man, I love me the Thunder Tank, the Turtle Van, the Batmobile from the Batman animated series from 1992. Dude, what else made the list of cool vehicles? I've stated before, y'all, whenever I get my money, Night Train is getting made, the Thunder Tank is getting made, Turtle Van is getting made, and the Batmobile from the 1992 animated series is getting made. Dude, it's some of the sickest. Even vehicles from Jason World Warriors from the 1985 cartoon, Jason World Warriors, Armed Force, Spike Track, Drill Sergeant, Quick Draw. You know what I mean? Dude, it was so cool vehicles, but that was the field of that which Night Train fills in. And Diesel, unlike other many strong characters, is smart. He's a mathematician. He's tactical. Now, his fighting skills include boxing and wrestling. And then, of course, he's got the cool weapon power axe. And his history is one of a lot of loss. This guy has been through a lot of stuff. He's lost a lot of stuff, from family members to losing loved ones to villainy, like his sister Artillery, to having his sister Cynthia, who used to be a villain, come back to the hero side. It's really twisted in all kinds of directions, man. But Diesel is that dude on the team that he's sort of combination of wisdom and courage. That's the best way for him to put him. He's always that character that he's always wise by decisions, just like the real guy in real life. Not quick to just be like, okay, I'm big as hell, let me solve that problem with that way. No. Sometimes it's not about putting hands on nobody. It's just like, how can I figure this out without resorting to any form of any kind of violence? That's it. That's him right there. He's not a pacifist, but he ain't taking no mess either. You know what I mean? So that's Diesel right there. Just like my big bro in real life. He's not a pacifist, but he's not taking any mess either. He ain't gonna go starting none neither, but you ain't better not bring no drama his way neither. You know what I mean? So that's Diesel right there. Next up is Cynthia. Now, Cynthia is an interesting character because she's based. Here we go. Let's show y'all Cynthia. That's Cynthia right there. Yeah, I know. She's sick as hell. You know what I mean? Cynthia is based on my dream girl. I remember when I first created the character, she was a character that I was like, okay, if I had a dream lady, what would she look like? What would I want her to look like? What would it be her attributes? Honor, courage, strength, cunning, intelligence, creativity, outspoken, not taking any mess from anybody, and somebody who would have my back, right? So I commenced the drawing her, and she was actually the first Karjakz character, she's actually the first character in the Karjakz Assassins that I actually drew. Cajun is the first creation, right? But Cynthia was the actual first drawing. Like, I actually drew her into a superhero thing. I was like, oh, wow, this is cool. Okay. So I drew her. I'm like, this is interesting. Let me just keep going. So then that's when I popped up with the idea of, let me draw one based on my brothers, my two brothers, my sister, my best friend, which I'm going to get down to. And then my big bro. And so Cynthia is a character that used to be a villain. And her real name is Scarlet Gray. Alias is Cynthia. Citizenship is American, South American. And she was one of those. She's a family member, right? She's the sibling to Diesel and Artillery. And Artillery is a villain, or the general for the Assassins. And her occupation, y'all gonna believe this, she's a news reporter / journalist. So, you know, I always found it interesting to take. Always thought it would be interesting to have this character have like investigative skills, right? Because after I figured out, okay, this is what my dream girl would look like. Now, if I threw her into the animation world, what other attributes would she have? What other kind of characteristics would she have? And she's got fighting skills, shadow arts, Muay Thai, master in karate. She can kick your you know what, man. There ain't no kind of form of discipline that she doesn't know. She's a great boxer too. And in terms of the whole Karjakz Vs Assassins universe, she's another fighter who could be contending for who's the best fighter in the whole Karjakz Vs Assassins universe, because she got hands. And man, when y'all see her in the new version of what she looks like, oh my God, version 6, ooh, she is spitfire. You wouldn't even recognize her, man. And of course, like I said, she's related to Diesel and Artillery. And, you know, all three of them dealt with a lot of losses that they had in life. But I think when she decided to finally see the truth, she realized being a villain didn't work for her, so she veered over to the good side. But that's something you're going to find out when you get to see the first official Karjakz Vs Assassins comic book and the whole animation series. Because, yes, that's the beauty of being who I am, having an idea. I don't wait on nobody to let me have my execution on my ideas. I do it myself. You know what I mean? So, yo, that's sincere right there. Next up is Shepard. Shepard is based on my best friend. You know what I'm saying? My best friend. Yep, Shepard is based on my best friend. That's a sicko character right there. You know what I mean? I can't tell how many times people thought that character is sick as hell. Now, Shepard is based on my best friend. He got a character. Like I said, everybody got a character in this Karjakz. These characters in the Karjakz Vs Assassins universe, specifically the Karjakz side, were based on people that are very important to me. Now, Shepard is this dude. His real name is Vincent Pierce, alias Shepard. Citizenship Canadian. He's blind. That's what makes this guy character unique. He's blind with a quantum with bow and arrow. Man, this dude don't never miss. The only person just as good as him in targeting is Glocks, man. And Shepard is a type of character that his history is one that he's lost family members. He doesn't know where they are. He wasn't an orphan. Lucky for him, he was taken in by family. He got to work hard, work his butt off, and give himself a better life. But at the same time, too, not wanting to fall victim to some of the stuff that fall victim to what his parents fell through. So he trained himself in different types of disciplines: Taekwondo, karate, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And then meeting his best friend Cajun, they become best friends. And now Cajun creates a sync visor for him, so he'll be able to see not only as regular but in battle too. So as you can see that thing over his eye, the sync visor. This thing right here, I want to point it to this thing right here, the thing over his eyes. That's what allows him to, that thing over his eyes right there, that's what allows him to see. It's the coolest thing you've ever seen. And so now Shepard is living the rest of his life proving to people that being blind doesn't mean you can't lead. It just means that you have the ability to believe and be whatever you want to be. I mean, this guy is an incredible character. And what I've noticed is whenever I go to the comic expos, people love this character, especially when I'm telling the story. And there's always somebody asking me, is he ever going to find his parents? I'm over here like, I don't know. How about you read the comic book? You know what I mean? So Shepard is an incredible character. And I remember in creating the character, my best friend was so happy. He's like, dude, you created a character based on me? I said, yes, because those who are worthy to me deserve the character. And dude, Shepard is that dude. He's an incredible, and as you read the comic books, as you watch that Karjakz Vs Assassins animation series, you're gonna be like, this character is all that and a bag of chips. There are very few characters that we root for so much like this, and he's gonna be one of those characters that you root for. So that's Shepard right there, man. Next up is these doggone assassins, man. Look at them. These villains, the assassins, man. I gotta point them out to you. these assassins, you know what I mean? Led by Sun Tzu, artillery. They got Sun Tzu, and then his general, artillery, Kanji, Revo, Excursion, Snipes, Yukon. You know what I mean? Look at this. Lord Sun Tzu, the leader of the assassins, man. And with his faithful psychic, Seth. Now, Sun Tzu, his real name is Blaine Bishop, alias Sun Tzu. He's the leader of the assassins, the creator of the assassins, the antagonist of this entire Karjakz Vs Assassins universe. The moves that he makes is always, most of the time, dictating what the moves that the Karjakz are gonna do. They have to react to what he's gonna do, because they never know what he's going to do. He's cunning, he's smart, he's evil, he's a villain of villains, man. Like, growing up as a kid, I was like, I wanted to create a villain in my universe that was so villainary that people, I said the word villainary. That's how nerdy I am, man. It was so villainary that people would be like, what in the hell is going on with this character? Like, when I go to comic expos, people are like, this dude is sick. The all black armor, the sword, the saber. I'm like, whoa, this dude is sick. And then, of course, you got Seth, his Egyptian mystical tiger, who is the evil twin of Sphinx. And when I say evil, this tiger is evil, man. Let's just say this dude got many, many powers. I'm not going to talk about Sphinx powers. But when you look at him, I haven't seen anybody at the art shows that went to the art shows that saw the comic, that saw these characters, that saw Sphinx. Like, that is, people, most of the time I get people tell me that Seth is cooler than Sphinx, which is weird. You know what I mean? But people, what I'm starting to get to also to that, and something that my brother told me, he said, dude, people are going to love the villains, might even love your villains more than they love your heroes, which was like, whoa, that would be kind of cool, because I think too many villains don't get enough shine. And yes, they are villains, but they don't get enough shine. So Sun Tzu, this dude is a U.S. citizenry, as I was stating before. He's a CEO of Argon Tech. This dude, he got that money, man. And what Sun Tzu did was, as he went, he got to pick people left and right and start to create his own team, which is now, he called it the Assassins. His general, artillery, excursion, a hitman, his children, Kanji and Revo, Snipes, and then, of course, Yukon. And as he put together the team, he also armed himself with power. So gaining wealth and gaining power at the same time, too. Then also he entrenched himself into many disciplines of martial arts, from karate to taekwondo and all these other disciplines. And he built himself an armor, right? To be able to let all different forces know, yo, I ain't the one. And he's not like all these other generals. No, Sun Tzu gets his hands dirty. He likes to get his hands dirty. That man don't play. He gets his hands dirty. He don't play. He gets his hands dirty. He gets up in there. He's one of those overlords that, yeah, you know what? I can put in work. And that's what he does. He can put in work. So Sun Tzu, of course, he's the father of Kanji and Revo, his children. And he's had to make some hard choices, because as his children were young, the mother, she was killed by rival forces, and he's like, okay, I got some for y'all, man. You know what I mean? Their union was forbidden, and so when they took her out, he's like, okay, I'm gonna return back, and when I come back, you guys are gonna wish you had never done what you did to me. And that's exactly what happened. So Sun Tzu sees himself as an overlord, the dictator of not just the world, but the galaxy. Like, this guy's got plans to conquer it, just like many of these other villains, whether it's Thanos, whether it's Darkseid, whether it's Darkon. And those are the only three villains that I always think about that I feel like on the level of Sun Tzu. And even Darth Vader are on the level of Sun Tzu, because he's a true villain. I mean, a villain of villains, man. When I go to the comic expo, people are like, man, this dude is sick, man. And then when they see Seth, the Egyptian tiger, they're like, oh my God, this is the sickest thing I've ever seen. So Sun Tzu, man, leader of the assassins, man. Next up is artillery, his general, his fiance as well. You know what I mean? Now, when you read the Karjakz Vs Assassins comic book, you're going to get to understand a lot of things. But this is artillery right here, man. And as you can tell, she ain't much for taking crap from anybody. She just looked like the type that she would just give you a whooping. Now, artillery, real name, Aeon Gray. She's the general of the assassins of Lord Sun Tzu. She's also second command, but she's also the fiance too. And so, if he ever sends artillery after you, it's pretty much over for you. Because you should have just laid down when they sent the other people before her. Once Sun Tzu sends her, it's over for you. Artillery is a very independent, smart, cunning, not taking any BS from anybody. She's independent. She loves the thrill of power. She loves the power of power. And I think that's what drew her to Sun Tzu. She realized them two coming together would become a powerful entity that could conquer the world and the galaxy, right? And at the same time, too, she has to be a stepmother to Kanji and Revo because they lost their mother. So now not only is she a fiance, a future wife, but she's also a mother too as well. So you can imagine her having this protective aura about how she looks at Kanji and Revo. And so at the same time being a wife to Sanusi and also realizing that the plans that they have to conquer the world, which is wild, man. I mean, dude, she starts off as a bodyguard. That's her occupation, really, a bodyguard. That's literally what she parades as, a bodyguard. So she's over there. Imagine a former CIA agent, Navy SEAL, being a bodyguard to Sanusi. You already know she got skills. She's got espionage skills, and she's a beautiful woman. Not only that, but she's smart, intelligent, tactical. She creates battle plans, man. Sanusi is a visionary, right? But then in her hands are the battle plans of how they're going to execute what they're going to do, especially when they get on the battlefields, right? So, you know, she's going to one in charge. She's the one who's going to lead Excursion, Kanji, Revo, Snipes, and Yukon and say, hey, I want you to do this. I want you to do that. I mean, this woman is no nonsense, ain't taking any crap, and she's trained in many disciplines, the martial arts, the black belt in Taekwondo, karate, and she's got an assortment of weapons that are beyond belief, man. I mean, this woman can give you work, and like I said before, when Sanusi sends artillery, it's pretty much game over for you. You know what I mean? There ain't gonna be nowhere to run and there gonna be nowhere to hide. That's artillery right there. Next up is Excursion. Our, as I like to call him, he's the guy with the cyber arms. He's third in command, but he's a guy who has plans to be independent. But that independence is going to require a whole lot of sacrifice and a whole lot of turncoating, which might not work out too well for him. But I'm pretty sure in the end, he's still going to make that move. That's Excursion right there. You know, Excursion is a complicated character, right? He seeks independence, but he really has no way of getting it because the guy he's working under, who is Sanusi, might not care too much for that. You know, Excursion is a former military Marine. And his real name is Ruben Drones, aka Excursion. U.S. citizenship is U.S. And he's a big dude, 6'4", 250 pounds. You know what I'm saying? When he was in the military, his main thing was to extract or take out dictators alike, right? And the person they were supposed to extract, I'm gonna give you the short story. He gets injured during the mission, goes against orders. He gets hurt. The people he was supposed to get, they get hurt too. Next thing he gets dishonorable discharge, and now he's back doing nothing. And now he has to find a way, not so much employment, but figure out what to do next. And guess what happens? He meets Lord Sanusi, and Sanusi tells him, you come be the head of my security. I'll make a whole lot of things happen on Argon Tech. And guess what happens? So he gets prepared. He gets these cybernetics in his body. And then after he gets the cybernetics, it's game time. Now he's back to, before he comes to working for Sanusi, he's got to settle some scores. And guess what he does? He goes to take out all the people in the military that needed to be taken out. That's all I got to say. I mean, this dude goes to work on people, man. And aside from being a military tactician, which he is, he's not on the level of artillery, but man, he's a tactician of the sort. He gets himself trained in boxing and military training, which he already has. He has an assortment of weapons. His eyes aren't normal anymore. That's all I'm going to say. You know what I mean? I'm going to let y'all figure out the rest. And of course, like I said, he was dishonorably discharged from the Marine Forces. And once he returned, he had to figure out where to go. And he did. He joins Lord Sanusi. And Sanusi said, look, if you come work for me, I can make a whole lot of good things happen. Not only that, you can make money. So for Excursion, death is just good business. Literally. That's how that guy works. It's just good business. He don't care. You got work, you got money, okay, let's do this. That's what we do. If you got money, you got work. If you got no money, what you talking to me for? You know, it's kind of it's in a way, I've kind of taken that a little bit of attitude in my approach of doing business too. I am not drawing nothing free for you if you ain't got no money for me. My time isn't free. I let people know all the time, my time is not free. You're not about to give me a whole bunch of work and then think I'm gonna do it for free. That's not Excursion. He don't play. You pay me for what I do, man. You know what I mean? So that's Excursion right there. I love this character. And when I'm at the art shows, people are like, this dude is sick. I don't know anybody who doesn't point to him at the art shows. That's one thing I love about going to the comic expos or even just being online in general. People love to talk about how cool these characters are. So, you know, that's Excursion right there. Next up is Kanji. Now, Kanji is the daughter of Sanusi. She's the firstborn of Sanusi. Kanji, she's a no-nonsense, it's kill or be killed type of attitude lady. She does not give a you-know-what. That's Kanji right there, man. And when I say do not get in her way, it'd probably be best if you didn't get in her way because she don't play. You know what I mean? She's independent, she's fast, she's fiery, she's an heir to the throne of Sun Tzu. Real name is Kanji Lee. Alias is Kanji, of course. She's citizenship is Filipino South African. Now, like I told you about the story, those cats that took out her mother, well, it ain't only Sun Tzu they gotta contend with. They gotta contend with her too, because now she's grown and she got some for him. She got work for him. You know what I mean? And it's interesting when she gets taken from Lazon Phillips and her brother Revo, she gets brought back to the States, and now she has to be resort to a normal life, right? But at the same time too, though, as she grows up, you know, of course, as the assassins grow into fame, she gets to the point where she's now a student in school, right? And so she's a student, major is graphic design, which is weird because she's really into calligraphy, excuse me. And she loves the signs of symbol. And those symbols are kind of like a thing attached to her mother. You're going to learn that story in the comic book as you get to see. And through the animations is why she's into calligraphy. It's something that she does to honor her mother. But at the same time too, though, it gives her a mental independence of like, okay, this is how they see the world. And man, I got something. She really didn't so much. She internalized what happened to her mother and decided, you know what, if my mother can be treated like that, I'm not gonna let nobody treat her like that. She always felt like her mother was too nice. You know what I mean? And so she said Kanji's had this developed attitude of kill or be killed. And you have to understand, she's also trained in the different fighting skills too. Master of karate, master of different martial arts, combat tactics, and she's a great master swordswoman. Man. And then this is another character that could be seen as one of the best fighters in the whole Karjakz Vs Assassins Universe, because she's a close range, hand-to-hand combatant. There are no projectiles with her. She's all inside out. She's got katanas and she will chop you up, man. I mean, this woman, and then she's got a cool bike, the cool bike that she used to get her. I'm not going to tell you the name, but you know, if you really want to know what's going on in Karjakz Vs Assassins, you got to go read this bio book, Karjakz Vs Assassins bio book, available on soundvision.com. I mean, Kanji's a no-nonsense, kill or be killed. It's all about power. It's all about those who have strength. If you have strength, you're strong. If you have no strength, you're weak. She keeps it real simple. I mean, and she's not about she's about that business. You can step out of line, she got work for you. It's just that simple, man. That's Kanji. Other side of that is her is a younger brother Revo, who she helps indirectly raise, because of course after her mother's passing, Revo has to be raised by somebody. So Sun Tzu, his father, and Kanji, you know, like, we're gonna attack him and raise this guy because he has to sort of be groomed to understand how the world really works. So as growing up as a kid, he gets trained by Kanji hand-to-hand combatant skills to the point where he's almost equal to her, if not even surpasses her, right? Because he has a natural ability of fighting skills. You know what I mean? And look, that's Revo right there. Let me tell y'all something, man. I can't tell y'all how many times this character right here has gotten mad love from various people that see me at the comic expos. They're like, dude, that character is fire. Revo, real name Tuan Lee. This is one character that's based on a family member of mine. Me and my cousin, we're really tight. But also, too, his name, Tuan, his real name, I got from a good friend of mine, whose name is actually Tuan. I remember telling a guy, a good friend of mine, like, hey, man, when I create this character, I'm going to give him your real name. Your real name is going to be his real name. And I remember giving Revo his name. I was like, Tuan Lee. Man, I actually did this. And that's the beauty of having an idea, man. When you see something, you execute it, man. So like I said, Revo is based on my cousin. And my cousin, I remember when creating this character, I was like, yo, cuz, I'm going to make you I'm gonna make you a super villain. It's like, that's what I'm talking about. I didn't want to be no hero anyway. So the fact to hear that my cousin was actually loving the fact that his character was gonna be a villain was a trip, man. I can't tell you enough how important it is for you to have inspirational people around. You know what I mean? You know, to have people that are so inspiring. Like even Sun Tzu is based on myself. Like I see Sun Tzu as the villainry side of myself. You know what I mean? I've always seen Sun Tzu that way. A lot of people don't know that, but that's where Sun Tzu is. He's the villain side of me. I'm just like, yeah, okay, I can be a hero and a villain too. What's wrong with that? You know what I mean? So Revo alias, real name Tuan Lee, alias Revo, is just like his sister. He's Filipino South African. And like I said, his mother gets killed when they're young, around 7 years old. And so now his father, Sun Tzu, bring him and Kanji back to the States. They get trained in different martial arts, different combatant skills. And so as he grows up, he develops this empathy. No, that's this affinity for fighting. I mean, he's just an incredible fighter, from street fighting to all kinds of fighting. And then till his father builds him this suit that he has, this amazing shadow suit. This suit, man, he be putting in work on people. This thing is unlike anything you've ever seen. Revo is this suit is so cool that it could equal what his father's wearing. That's how great this suit is. And both kids, Kanji and Revo, have great suits that Sanusi has created for them. And you get to see it in the Karjakz Vs Assassins bio comic book, the first official Karjakz Vs Assassins comic book, because their costumes are sick. And Revo is a great hand-to-hand combatant. His skills, he might be the best fighter in the entire Karjakz Vs Assassins universe. And it's hard for me to say that. I know I've said a bunch of people, Cajun, Rasputin, Kanji, Sincere, best fighters, because they're all projectile type fight. They're all hand-to-hand combatants, except for Cajun. He has projectiles, of course. And of course, can't forget Sanusi. But Revo is a straight hand-to-hand combatant guy. He's close range. Man, you ain't even gonna know he's coming till he gets to you, man, and he's done with you. And it's funny enough, his major is physics, because he's on just like his counter Rasputin. My cousin in real life is actually good at science and stuff like that. So that's why the idea of physics came into play. I was like, oh, well, my cousin's good at physics. I might as well talk about him being into physics. And usually you don't really see stuff like that with characters, especially villains. They don't really give them much of a depth of characterism, if that's the word you want to use. But I was like, I'm going to give this character some depth, man. I'm going to literally make him my cousin, but in a villain form. And so I remember telling my cousin, I was like, yo, your character is a villain, and he's got all kinds of weapons, man. Swords, suits, shadow disc, nunchucks, you name it, he's got it all, man. And like he's got, just like his twin sister, he's got a cool cycle. And so with Revo, for him, it's all about balancing the score, making those who hurt brought him any kind of harm in his past to pay for it in the future. And so him and his sister are waiting due time where they'll be like, the day of reckoning is coming, when they can take vengeance on those who brought harm to their mother. And that's what's going down. It is going down. Kanji and Revo, very important to the Lord Sanusi, because they are heir to the throne. But Kanji is the heir to the throne. But Revo is the general to Kanji. So now you have to figure out what's going to happen in that whole scenario right there. You know what I mean? People are going to be like, is loyalty going to be tested? I don't know. You let me know. I'll let you know. How about that? You know what I mean? So that's Revo right there. Next up is Snipes, the gorgeous French Algerian. She is bad. I mean, when I say bad, she's bad. To look at her is to be taking your last breaths. Don't get it twisted. Just because she's hot doesn't mean that she's gonna. Just because she's hot doesn't mean you're safe. You ain't safe at all, man. She's great for espionage. She's great for infiltration. You know what I mean? Her real name is Nicole Pham, alias Snipes. I think that name Nicole Pham is so sick. I met all kinds of individuals in my life, and I was like, met this lady. I was like, whoa, your name is kind of cool. I like this. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to call Snipes' real name going to be Nicole Pham. You meet a lot of cool people in life, and that's the beauty of an idea. Ideas allow you to meet people, and then people become a part of your storyline indirectly. They inspire you. And so Snipes is a French Algerian. She's a model by day. She's a master. She's a supermodel by day, and she's a super villain by night. This lady right here, man, she is deadly. Like, she comes off with a smile, but she's really trying to take you out. And people find a lot of people find comfort around her till they realize what she's there for, and then they're like, oh man, it's over for me now. Yeah, it kind of is over for you. She's the character that Sanusi sends in first. She's sort of the Marines of the assassins, man. She goes in there, does infiltration work, sees what's going on, scopes everything out, and once she scopes it out, whoever's there at the time when she's scoping it out, they're about to get it, because she got no mercy in her, man. She's got that. She's like the lady excursion, basically. It's take you out, it's kill or be killed. To her, death is just good business. And she's a bit of a cuckoo job, too, at the same time, too, because she takes it too far. Like, I like to call her the Harley Quinn of my Karjakz Vs Assassins Universe. She's gorgeous, but she's like, whoa, you're a bit off the rocker, huh? Yeah, she's a deadly character. She's a master of hand combat. She's a karate and Brazilian jiu-jitsu master. She's got these amazing crossbows. She's got a very cool car. I'm not going to tell you the name, but it's a very cool car. And as you watch the Karjakz Vs Assassins comic book, when you get to read the first official Karjakz Vs Assassins comic book, you get to see how cool she is. She's the character on the team that you can drop her off in the middle of an island, no backup, and she'll walk away with no scratch. That's how great Snipes is. Snipes is an amazing character. She's a villain that takes villainy to another level. And she's very confident. She's got a swag about her. She's got a swag intelligence about her. And she's very smart too. Like, most beautiful women, they just make them not to be intelligent. But she uses her intelligence combined with her beauty, which makes her totally, totally deadly. Not to mention, she can just straight whoop your you-know-what, man. I mean, so that's Snipes for you, man. I mean, I remember at the shows, people always like, she's hot. I don't know anybody who's seen her and hasn't said she wasn't hot. That's always the funny thing about it. Every time everybody sees her, like, Snipes is hot. I'm like, okay, you know she can kick your butt too, right? You know what I mean? So that's Snipes for you, man. Next up is Yukon, the strong guy in the Assassins team. Now, Yukon, he don't care. It's win any way you can win and don't matter. There ain't no rules. The only rule that matters is who's standing after the whole thing is done. That's what Yukon's rule is. You know what I mean? He's a villain who doesn't care if he cheats, if he plays it fair. He ain't trying to play it fair. You know what I mean? This dude subjected himself to all kinds of mannerisms of technology advancements and all kinds of cybernetic advancements. And so his real name is Titus Manaluga, aka alias Yukon. He's from the Kauai on the Hawaii Islands. And what happened to him was, as a younger kid, his father passes away, and then he's left to his mother. He's left just by with his mother. And then as he grows older, he kind of goes into this World's Strongest Man competition. He loses. He gets found out he was cheating. Then all of a sudden he gets stripped of it, and so he decides he's going to move himself to Los Angeles. And when he does, guess what happens? He meets Sun Tzu, and Sun Tzu's like, okay, these are the things I can do for you. But in order for me to do these things for you, there's certain things you're going to have to go undergo, certain enhancements. And those enhancements now give him form of ability, not only within his suit, but within himself. I mean, this dude, like, he's like, each one of these characters, especially assassins, they are advanced in one way or another. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. Some of the fighting stuff that Yukon can do is wrestling. And yes, his job at Argon Tech, he's a security enforcer. So basically, he's a super security guard. And like, Sun Tzu's like, you come work for me at Argon Tech, I'm gonna put a whole lot of money in your pocket, but I'm also going to give you what you want. Going around and whooping anybody needs to be whooped. You're gonna be my enforcer. You're gonna be my collector. Anybody that don't pay, that's due, you're gonna get that. You're gonna get what needs to be gotten. And if they don't give it up, well, you're free to snap them in half. That's Yukon right there. Yukon is that hand. Like, there's a cool scene that I create, y'all are gonna see in the comic books and also too in the animation series, where Sun Tzu sends him, and the villains that Sun Tzu's going against decide they're not gonna do what they told. So guess what Yukon does? Somebody gets snapped, and you know what, in half. That's Yukon right there. He's that muscle guy. He's the power guy. He's that guy that Sun Tzu's like, okay, look, you're my muscle. You're the bodyguard. Anybody steps out of line, you're gonna need to have something for him. That's what you need to do. I mean, and Yukon does it with his bare hands too. That biosuit that he has offers him all kinds of forms of invulnerability. The only dude that can get at him in terms of hurting him if he hits him in his hand is Diesel. If you ain't packing that kind of punch, you ain't doing nothing to Yukon, man. I mean, Yukon is, whew, this dude is sick. And he doesn't play fair. That's another thing. Yukon don't play fair. He's coming at you. He's got all kinds of cool stuff. That biosuit, cables that he uses to just mess people up. You know what I mean? And he used to be the former World's Strongest Man, but like I said, once he cheated, he got stripped of the title. And now all of a sudden, he has to give up bodybuilding and give up his World's Strongest Man title and figure out a way to get about his future. And he does. He meets Sun Tzu. Now his father's deceased, like I said, and his mother's still on Kauai Island living, but she's like, man, sometimes you're like, what could have happened if his father hadn't passed away? But that's what happened. Yukon kind of saw the world as a, you know what? It's me for myself. Nobody's going to do nothing for me, so I might as well make it happen myself. That's what happened to Yukon, man. Yukon is that. He's an amazing character that seeks his own independence. He doesn't seek to have anybody give him what to do, tell him what to do, or how to do it, man. He's just, I'm going to do it on my own, and either the world's going to help me or it's not going to help me. If I'm going to get help, if I'm going to win, then I'm going to do whatever it takes to win, which means advancements. He's got that simple thing. If you get in my way, I'm going to smash you, and then I'm going to do whatever it takes to win. He's like the, if y'all remember Bane from Batman, well, Yukon is like, got those kind of attributes where Bane would cheat to do it. Bane would do anything to win. That's Yukon. He's going to do anything to win, man. So you get in his way, though, he's going to smash you. With all these advancements he's got put in him, it's over for you, man, if you get in his way. So that's Yukon. Next up are the Coyotes. These assassins, these robotic androids that Sun Tzu created. Those are the Coyotes right there. You know what I mean? The Coyotes. I can't tell you anybody who didn't think they were sick. They're smart androids. They were built in Argon Tech Labs, created by Sun Tzu himself, actually designed by Sun Tzu himself. And so they sort of they come in packs of 6. Whenever you see one, you got 5 more coming. You know what I mean? You better hope they don't multiply beyond 6. You know what I mean? But they were actually initially built off of Revo, and then Sun Tzu's like, okay, now let me give them their own attributes. And man, these things, their main mission is always to hunt and destroy, to seek and destroy. That's the only purpose they got, to find people and take out those who be taken out. So any competition that Sun Tzu has in the villainy world, them as coyotes is coming for you. And if you're not a villain, you're not a competition to the villain world, but you're just somebody who's in his way, he's going to send them after you too. I can't tell you how many times he sends them after the Karjakz. And yes, the Karjakz are able to defeat them, but not by the skin of their teeth, because these as coyotes, man, they adapt. They learn as they go. They are ready to go. They're always really willing to get any, they don't stop. So if you're going to beat them, you better be ready, because they learn as they go. They adapt as they go. I mean, how cool is that, man? I'm really looking forward to, I can't tell you till y'all read the comic book and realize how cool these characters are. And a lot of people have told me, man, like, your characters are sick. These characters are sick. So it's an exciting time, like, to talk about these characters. These coyotes, never have you seen android robots be so cool in the show. The only cartoon I can think of that was cool like that was the X-Men, the 1992 animated series, where the Sentinels were cool. Every time people saw the Sentinels on the screen, they're like, oh, those are cool. You know what I mean? The only thing that ruined for me was the movies. God, X-Men movies, boy. But you know what I mean? But that's the coyotes right there. And now that right there is the Assassins complete. You know what I mean? So now, on to the next part of this whole thing. The future of the Karjakz Assassin. Now, it's important. Yes, the future is this simple. I'm going to keep it simple. Animation and comics and everything else I can get my hands on. Apparel, footwear, and all that stuff I'm doing. But the main things are for me is the comics and the animation. Because the book series is going to be a whole lot of them. The animation series is going to be a whole lot of them. And the beauty of being what I'm being I'm going to write this down. Yo. The beauty of being the creator, having the idea, is that I don't have to wait on nobody to let me do it. Like, I literally took myself to school, learned all the various animation that I could learn, learned all the drawing techniques, learned how to create comic books, learned what I want to learn so I could go do what I want to do. I tried paying people money to create websites for me. I tried paying people to help me draw. I even tried to form a team at school. I was like, look, y'all are dragging your feet, man. I ain't wasting my time. I can do this all on my own. You know, this is why I believe we have 2 hands, 2 eyes, you know what I'm saying, 2 feet. We're built to be able to do things independently, and when we can find those to work with, then we work with them. But at the same time, too, don't let people drag you down. The future of Karjakz Assassins is bright. I already know one thing for sure. Comic book series is coming, and it's literally done. I'm just going through the correction phase. Animation series is coming. There ain't nothing you can do stop about it. You know, I'm going to have my own animators under my own Science Vision umbrella. I ain't got to beg Marvel, DC, or sign any bullshit with any company to let them rip me off because I'm trying to have a future. A lot of these artists, man, the problem is them that they have no business acumen. I got business acumen. No company is going to come screw me over for my characters. It ain't going to happen. The Karjakz Assassins is my universe, right? I created them in 2009. I finished the originals in 2012. And I went to that FedEx office. I said, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. The future is plain and simple. If you want something to happen, you're going to have to manifest into manifestation. Getting knowledge and being able to do what you need to do helps you a lot, because nobody can slow you down. I go to work every day just like any other person, but then when I come home at night, I get my hustle on. My dream is my destination. There ain't nothing stopping that. And my job is nothing to me but a hustle. I'm not going to backseat my dream for a job. It ain't going to happen. That's going backwards. That's hustling backwards, as they say. You should pursue your dream. Never be afraid of what you can accomplish, because the future of the Karjakz Assassins is plain and simple. Comics, animation, and everything else that is positive that I can decide to put my platforms on. Video games, TV shows, movies, you name it. I'm even writing scripts now. I mean, I'm not going to wait on nobody to teach me how to do something. I'm not begging you for your money. That's the beauty of being independent. These companies now, you got to beg them. You build up your YouTube channel, man, you can put your own cartoon series on. You know how many people I know that's doing their own independent animation or whatever they're doing on their own? It's the best way to do, man. You got to beg no company for their money more. Like somebody, I don't have to walk over to Marvel and say, can y'all please allow me to have publishing, to publish my comic books? I ain't got to do that. No, I do it all on my own. I don't need you. What do I need you for? That's what makes the future of Karjakz Assassins so beautiful. Nobody's slowing me down. And the reason why I've gotten this far so fast, and I don't even feel like I'm moving fast, and I'm moving steadily because I'm not looking for speed, is because nobody's slowing me down. I've educated myself on what my characters need. And that's the reason why you can go from this version to this version to this version. It's important that you understand what you're building so that you can give it a future. It's pointless to build something if it's not going to have a future. And man, when I tell you the Karjakz Assassins Universe is beautiful, it is beautiful. Its future is, oh my God, beyond explanation. Because I even now when people see me wearing my bomber jacket, puffer jacket that I got on, or when they see it on a hoodie or on a pants, they're like, whoa, what are those cactus? And here I am, a conversation that's going to be like 2 minutes becomes like 30 minutes. That lets me know that when I'm talking to people about these cactus, they think of them. Even on my various social media platforms, people are like, whoa, these cactus are sick. And that's what I've always wanted, man. So to be able to have the Karjakz Vs Assassins Universe be seen, even on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, it's like just on tear. It's on fire, man. People are recognizing, okay, this thing is coming. I mean, I love it when people write me notes like, these are the sickest original characters I've seen in a long time. You know how cool that makes me feel, man? It lets me know the future is bright as hell. So y'all get ready because the Karjakz Vs Assassins Universe is coming. So that's our show for today. But before we get up out of here, we got to show you all our cool, awesome stuff. Well, let's not forget all the Karjakz Vs Assassins characters, first of all. Now, if you love posters, if you love art, feel free to visit our Karjakz Vs Assassins Universe. I'm going to show you one. You know what I mean? Look at this. All these awesome characters. Y'all got to go get all these posters, man. You know what I mean? We got so many. The assassins. You got to go visit. Because, hey, look. They are all that in a bag of chips. You know what I mean? Make sure you go visit sanusvision.com and get you a copy of Karjakz of these characters. You know what I mean? That's what we're doing over here, man. So, you know, posters, man, 11 by 17. 13 by 19, canvas art. We got it all for these different images that I got. And beyond the Karjakz Vs Assassins Universe characters as well. Now what's up? Since we're talking about cool stuff, we gotta talk about our bomber jackets, man. Bomber jackets are all that and a bag of chips. You gotta get your bomber jacket on. I mean, this is the marble velvet platinum bomber jacket. You know what I mean? Look at how cool that is, man. If you get one of these, man, I promise you'll be in style too. And we got all kinds of characters. Karjakz Vs Assassins, Blade, Iron Man, Batman, Wonder Woman, Voltron. We got them for the ladies and gents. We got them sizes extra small all the way to 4XL. And you can get them in 4 different materials too. Marble Velvet, which is the platinum label. Waterproof, which is the gold label. And then you've got the limited edition, which is the jersey and satin. Man, you rocking these bomber jackets, people gonna know what's up. And not to mention, everything is custom done. Custom. You know what I mean? This is what we're doing in Science Vision. And then, of course, we got more cool stuff. Look, I got to show y'all the Batas line footwear. I got to show y'all. Check out that. The Batas line footwear, man. Low tops and high tops. These are some low tops right here. Check out the color schemes. I have to let y'all see the multiple colors that we got, y'all. Look at this, man. And as you can see, the art's always different on both sides. Check this out. The blue ones. These are pretty cool. People always like, oh, those are sick. And I generally tend not to wear these ones too much because these are my favorites. They're my babies, man. I like keeping them awesome. And then check out the black ones. Look at this, man. I got so many colors. This is ridiculous. This is what we're doing art. The art is never the same on either side. And then, of course, you got the gray ones. Check that out. Look at this. So many colors, man. We got them in gray, blue, red, purple, pink, brown, green, yellow, so many colors, man. We got them for multiple characters too. Blade, Iron Man, Batman, Wonder Woman, Voltron, Turtles, Mega Man, Dragon Ball Z, Green Lantern, Black Panther, Black Lightning, Batman, you name it. I mean, these shoes, man, check this out. Look at the inside of that. I mean, how many people have their own shoe? You know how much props I get on social media about these shoes, man? They're like, those shoes are sick. Then, of course, the Karjakz Vs Assassins high tops. We got high tops too. Yeah, that's right, high tops. These are my babies right here, man. Oh God, I love these shoes. Check this out. Look at the art. And look at the art on the inside. This is what we're doing on Sound Vision. We are always doing major things, man. I mean, the mural, man, the shoes are sick, and these are all blacks right here. These are one of my favorite Batas still. I love wearing these right here, man. The Batas high tops, man. Batas 2 high tops. Then of course, you got the Cajun Platinums right here. These are Platinums right here. Now you're wondering what's the difference between the Platinum and the basics. The Platinum's a collector's edition, man. If you're a collector, these are for you right here, man. The Platinum editions. Look at this. These are sick, man. You know what I mean? These are sick. Just like the low tops, these are the high tops. Check that out, man. Whew, man. These are fire. I know you're like, dang, those are fire. And check this out. Look at this. 2 different characters on both sides. This is how I design all my shoes right here. And then when you flip it, guess what we got? Look at this. Ain't that sick, man? Man, that's Spitfire right there, man. You know what I mean? So that's what we're doing the Sound of Vision, man. Look at, you got Cajun on one side and you got Sanusi on one side. The Batas 2 Platinum High Tops, man. This is what we're doing. So we got the Platinum High Tops right here. Check that out, man. And then, of course, you got the Platinum Low Tops. You know what I mean? This is what we're doing in Sound Vision, man. Always creating cool stuff. So that's our Batas footwear line, man. So go get your pair today. We got them in multiple sizes. We got them in multiple sizes, multiple characters, and multiple colors. So, y'all, that's our show for today. I want to thank y'all for listening. You know what I'm saying? Before we get up out of here, we want to thank our sponsors. This Sound Vision podcast is brought to you by Trujillo. If you need executive services from plumbers to pediatricians and everything in between, please search Trujillo today. That's Trujillo. That's TGRI today.com. Because you want the best of the best working on whatever it is that you're looking for. Whether it's plumbing, whether it's pediatrician, whether it's accounting, whatever it might be, man. Trujillo.com. Search and find the best of the best at what they do so that you can get the best service needed for what you need done. Trujillo. So, you know what I mean? Don't forget that. And please, Anadel, also our other podcast sponsor, Anadel Foot and Ankle. Don't live for foot pain. Let Anadel Foot and Ankle make your feet happy again. That's AnadelCenter.com for details, y'all. That's AnadelCenter.com for details, y'all. Got to thank these sponsors, man, because these bills got to be paid. You know what I mean? We ain't on around for this long without the bills getting paid. But that's what we're doing around here, man. You know, we joining forces with bigger companies, best companies. No jati, as I like to say in my language. You're not going to be my sponsor. You're not going to be my sponsor if I don't think you're on point. Because I feel like the marriage benefits us both. So, you know, Trujillo, AnadelCenter.com, Anadel for the knuckle. They doing big things, man, and we got to join forces with big people. That's what we're doing. So, you know, before we get up out of here, though, I got to talk about the Karjakz Vs Assassins comic book. Bio book. You got to go get this bio book. This bio book is the first it's going to lead you to the first official Karjakz Vs Assassins bio book, comic book, which is going to let you know about in the Karjakz Vs Assassins series. It's the first of many books to come. Now, this bio book right here is going to tell you all about the characters, which is what we focused on today. The height, weight, all that good stuff, man. I'm telling y'all, this bio book right here is so important because when you get this book, it's going to help you to understand what the first official Karjakz Vs Assassins comic book is going to be about. So that way, when you see the characters, you're like, oh, that makes sense. Oh, that makes sense. Man, I haven't had anybody that's bought this that hasn't told me it wasn't a great read. And I think if you think this is a great read, oh, man, you ain't seen great read yet. You ain't seen great read yet. So go get you a bio book today on soundvision.com, man. So, y'all, that's our show for today. I want to thank you for listening. This Sound Vision podcast is produced, written, and directed by yours truly, Adewale Booker Jr. Please check out our website for all the cool stuff we got, from beanies to bomber jackets to t-shirts, to bio books. You know what I mean? And what am I talking about? To Batas footwear, to the footwear. You know what I mean? And then to bomber jackets too. You check out the footwear, man. Let y'all look at it again. I mean, look how cool this thing is. You know what I mean? We got some cool stuff on Sanusi Vision. When I say it's cool, it's super cool. I mean, look at the art. Yeah, you thought the art wasn't going to be sick when it came onto the shoe. It's even more sick when it's on the shoe. I can't tell many people give me my props on these shoes, man. So, you know, that's Sound Vision right there, man. All the cool stuff we got. I mean, we got water bottles. We got glasses cases. You know what I mean? We got all kinds of cool stuff, man. Soundvision.com, all kinds of cool stuff. It's just the sickest website you've ever seen. So many people go on there. So many visitors. People are like, your website is the sickest thing I've ever seen. I got people like, damn, you did all this? Yes, I did all that. I'm a one-man wrecking crew. I don't wait on nobody to do nothing for me. I do it myself. You know what I mean? And please, subscribe to our podcast on our YouTube channel. We're growing, man. I feel like I'm like Club Shay Shay or Stephen A. Smith, man. I'm always growing every week. Every week I'm putting in work, and every week I'm growing. You got to grow, man. The podcast is on YouTube. And why is it on YouTube? Because people like to see and hear. Ain't nobody trying to just hear you no more, man. That's played out, man. You got to move to where the future is going to be. And guess where we at? We at YouTube. And then also you can get snippets of my podcast on my TikTok pages, on my Facebook pages, on my Instagram pages, on my Twitter, on my X pages. Hey, look, please subscribe to our podcast on our YouTube channel, and so that every Monday you can get a new episode notification on a new episode. When it pops up, you can be the first to listen. You got to understand, the future is in YouTube, it's in visual, it's in the social media platform, so much in the stratosphere. Nobody's watching TV anymore. That's old news. That's linear. Nobody's doing that anymore. If you ain't streaming, you ain't really doing nothing. So you better get to streaming, and those who want to be remembered better join the stream platform, or you can get forgotten. I'd rather be where the future is going. That's me. Hey, but I can't tell you what to do. You know what I mean? And please, check out our social media platforms, because them things is on fire right now. YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and X. You know, the main big thing for me is never going to change is YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. YouTube being number one, TikTok being number two, and Facebook being number three. I feel like those platforms really, really accentuate opportunities for artists. Yes, Instagram is there. Yes, X is there. But a lot of people that stay on Instagram is because they don't want to go find a new followers. They're too worried about they're going to lose the ones they got. You're going to lose the ones you got anyway. It don't matter, because Instagram is notorious for shadow banning its own users, especially creators. And then TikTok is also shadow banning its own creators, but they think nobody knows. But I'm always quick to send them a note, like, quit messing with me, man. I don't care. Y'all are trifling. You know what I mean? Instagram, TikTok, you can find a way to get around their shadow banning nonsense, but you got to be a creator that's understanding your platform, how to use it, man. A lot of people don't understand. Your platform is yours. It's yours to grow your brand. It's yours to do what you need to do and get you where you need to go. So that's our social media platforms. I mean, social media is critical. Free advertising, free rising, and with free notification, and also too, when you build your brand enough, they start to put money in your pockets. I mean, what's better than that? So that's why I always trip out when I hear all these people player hating on influencers. Well, you mad at somebody else because they pull their stuff up making the right videos. Hey, it's not their fault that people love watching what they're making. Hey, make you good videos, then they can watch what you're making too. I know I ain't got that problem. I ain't got no problem with getting my viewership, and I ain't been doing this that long. So social media, man, you got to get your social media on. You know what I mean? And please don't forget to review us, rate us, give us a 5-star. Don't be a hater. And as always, y'all, continue to aspire and achieve. Have a great week. Stay safe, y'all. Peace.